In this video, really quickly, I'm going to show you how you can check out if a property trainer is telling the truth about their claims or if they're full of shit. All you need to do on your computer, you want to go to the search. So I'm going to do this on myself, so I want you to check me out too. So I'm going to go Discipline Limited, spell it right, Company's House. So I'm going to click on the company, and then I'm going to go on this bar up here. And you want to find people because we want to look for related companies that they've got. So you'll see here, there's my name. We click on that and you'll see there's 20 different appointments. So you'll see some of the new companies that I started relatively new, so it's sort of 2023. These are some of the ones we're working on at the moment. Then there's some of my property ones like PIA Partners Land, PIA Partners. We've got all of these companies here, then some of my older ones which I set up once Section 24 came out. So some of these are sort of 2016 time. If we take, for example, we go Seaview. So again, this is a subsidiary of this one. So if we go Seaview Limited, click on here, and we go to filing history. So this bit here, this is where the filing history is. Now what you're looking for is you want to see the credibility. So when someone's talking that they're worth 5 mil, 7 mil, 10 million pound, well, do they have assets that actually match that? Now, they shouldn't really be filing micro accounts, because for micro accounts, they need to have 2 of the following 3 things. So they need to either be under 10 employees, they need to have a turnover of less than 632,000, or they need to have less than 316,000 on the balance sheet. And now, if they're a big company and they're training people, then they should have a team. They should have a team like I have, where you're way over 10 members of staff. There should be way over 632,000 in terms of turnover. They should have way more than 316,000's worth of assets on the balance sheet. There's no way that I can file micro accounts because I'm just way over these limits. So first of all, that's the first red flag when someone tells you they're worth millions and they're filing micro accounts. You also want to be looking for, is there any winding up petitions against the business? Or is there any compulsory strike-offs? So compulsory strike-offs is when the business is being liquidated, probably by somebody else because things aren't right, or they're being struck off for not complying with rules that they should be following. So the instant red flags. So once we go into filing history, so you'll see I made a couple of changes recently around our address and bits like that. Then you'll see here, so total full account. So if it's anyone that's got any real credibility, they should be filing full accounts. So we click into this here, view PDF, and we can see what's here. So the main thing we want to be looking at is the balance sheet. Okay, so we come to the balance sheet on this one company here, and straight away there you can see that there's £1,520,000 sat there in assets. Now when we come to the bottom, we want to be looking at this one as well, so shareholders funds, because that'll tell you if a business is in positive or if it's in the minus. So this is my building on the seafront. It's the one that was on Rich House Poor House, multi-million-pound project. Now when someone has a development and the first doing works on that, they'll be doing works without receiving rental income while that works is happening. So what you can do, and I use this because it's there to be utilised. So when I'm getting finance for bridging finance, I can utilise that interest and I can use it against my losses. So if you look here on 2022, you'll see in the brackets there, it's actually in a minus of 128,000. And then in the last reporting period was a plus 76. And that's because I've used my losses up. So I'm now going from 128,000 to plus 76,000, which is over a 200 grand gain. If we come out of this one and we go backwards, if we look at one of my other property ones, so PIA Partners Land, for example. And again, we go filing history. And we want to look at, again, the full accounts. And what you'll find here, we go to the balance sheet. And you see the land, so I bought it for 200,000, sold it for 400,000 at Fujifilm. So I did something really creative with that. I put a long stop on it, so I was able to acquire the land without actually out completing on it. I agreed a long stop, which meant I had 12 months to complete, and in that 12-month period, I then went and found a buyer for it. Because it was in an up-and-coming area, I was able to sell that land for 400. That was without any planning permission or no works on it at all. So if you come down here, you'll be able to see. In the shareholders' funds, 145 grand, and that was after I paid tax. So if you look here, provisions for liabilities, I had to pay £49,000 in corporation tax. It's easy to check these things out. And if people are doing the things that they say they are, they should be paying big chunks of tax like I am, where I can offset certain things and I can do very creative things. I can create a group structure, but there's only so much you can offset somewhere if you're making constant profits. So check out the what they're doing within their property ones. You'll be able to have a look at that. Have a look at what's going on there. So are the claims actually true what they're saying, or are they making money from their property companies? Let's show you one that doesn't look healthy. Seaview Leases Limited, okay, this is the subsidiary of this one here. So this is where I've been parking some losses, and this is where we've actually adapted this company. So this one was 10 apartments, and we had them as serviced apartments. And what we found was, when we set them up, the supply and demand was absolutely brilliant. We were making some really good money on these. And then the demand dropped, so we decided to make a shift and we moved them to ASTs. So I'll show you in here. And this is where we park some of our losses. So we want the full accounts again. Balance sheet. And you'll see this one has got over £1 million worth of assets as well. But when you look at the shareholders' funds here at the bottom, it's in a negative. So it's gone from -23 to -104,000. So these are the kind of things you want to be looking at. Because there's 400 grand's worth of profit on the other two, even if you take that in consideration, there's £300,000 worth of profit. But what you'll see is if you take note of this, so screenshot this, take a note of these accounts here that are 104,000. On our monthly management accounts, we're now in high profit. So you'll see that 104,000 will drop a lot on the next reporting of the account, and it's probably going to drop down by, I reckon that'll drop down somewhere in the region to -50, -40, somewhere in the region of that. So we set to make probably somewhere in the region of 50-60 grand on that company this year. But these are the things that we want to look for. So we want to look for those assets. We want to see if that do they have the millions of pounds worth of assets what they claim to have. We want to be looking at the shareholders funds, also in the filing history, and see if there's any obvious things. If there's any things like winding up petitions, if there's any things like compulsory strike-offs, if there's a lack of assets. So, thanks for joining me on this short video. If you'd like to know more, or you'd like to be guided and you want to get into property, you'll be able to download a copy of my book free. In there is a load of information of all the mistakes that I've made, that full journey, starting out, getting bridging finance wrong, all of the options you can use to raise finance and to get into property. It's all there within the book. So if you go ahead, click that, and you'll get a free copy of that PDF version. If you'd also like to take a call with one of my coaches to find out a little bit more, so we can establish where you are now, where you want to be, and if we're the right fit to help you get there, You can download the copy of the book and you can take a strategy call with one of my coaches. Hope to see you on some training soon. Thank you, Stephen.